question is, do we have free will, or is everything predetermined?
We don't know which of our actions are actually free and in which we just have an illusion of freedom. That's because we're blind to the laws and the forces that manage us, and we assume that there's no management at all. So this gap in our perception, that's what we call free will. But we have no free will at all, except in one thing. And other than that thing, everything we do is dictated to us by inner and outer nature, and it's defined by 4 factors. In order to discover where our freedom really lies, we need to look at a level of life below ours to catch these 4 factors at work. Let's look at a seed of wheat. So the first factor, the bed, the first matter. You can take that seed and you can bury it in the ground and it'll decompose, and the body of the seed disappears, but the information about the qualities that are going to develop doesn't die with the old form. It gets transferred into a new one. And that information is the primary cause of everything that follows. Likewise, a drop of semen contains the abstract force from our ancestors, and we come into the world with their accumulated knowledge, physical and mental qualities that we feel as our own subconscious tendencies, but they aren't ours. They're installed in us, and we can't choose or change them in any way. The second factor, the cause and effect that stem from itself. So now the information in the seed receives a new form, but the form doesn't change the information. It'll never become an apple tree or a squash. It only develops the qualities carried from the seed. And the only change that can happen is in quality or in quantity, but it can only grow as a stalk of wheat. And geneticists tell us that there's a gene in us for everything, even what we consider to be our deepest personal wishes. They've identified which genes predispose a person to good or criminal behavior, to addiction, to sexual response. The inner system we think of as our I is a fixed set of qualities controlled by a program that switches them either to the positive or the negative, and we have no direct influence on that program. The third factor, the inner cause and effect. How well the stalk of wheat grows depends on specific external factors that work directly on its essence and that programming, for better or worse. The amount of sunlight, rain, and minerals in the soil, that kind of thing. A different set of minerals won't provide the right nourishment to make good quality wheat. So all of these forces must be there and no others. Our inherited program of desires, thoughts, and attitudes develop either positively or negatively depending on our family, which we don't choose, and the way that they bring us up and on how we're educated. Because obviously we're helpless as children, so all of this is done by them. And that compels us to be influenced by a constant chain of interactions with their characters, their ideas and values. So whatever we will be is going to be the result of either agreeing with or reacting against these forces, but we can't change the laws that transform our essence, or how they do that. So there's no free will here either. 4. Cause and effect through alien forces. These are environmental forces that, unlike rain and minerals, they don't have any direct connection with the wheat. These are forces like hail or passing animals or nearby plants, and they influence all of the other 3 factors as a whole. Now, obviously, a plant can't get up and move, but for us, regardless of the fact that we don't determine any of the first 3 factors in our development, we can influence all of them only by choosing our surroundings. That's that one thing that I was telling you about. It is our single point of freedom in the physical world. And it's from this point that we can harness these laws to sling us in the direction of our goal. Because a person can have negative or weak first and second factors, and just by placing those factors and the system of development in the proper environment, the quality of development can be enhanced and its speed accelerated enormously. The worth of our life is judged only by this, because once having chosen an environment, all of these laws kick in again. And that environment then shapes all of our future conditions. And that's why the Kabbalists advise us to choose the right books, the right friends, and the right teacher.